mate. Ready for another day?
Yep.
Let's go get it.
Right, we'll just have a bit of a briefing about today. We're going to go up to the Cavallies.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then if it does blow up, which it will, we've got it on our ass. We've also got the tide, the current, and we're moving in the same direction from where we want to fish. We're going to go inside the Cavallies towards where the Rainbow Warrior wreck is. It's quite cool. Alright, well we'll go and give it a nudge, eh?
Alright, so we're heading up to the Kahawai Islands, day 3 of our adventure up in Whangaroa. The plan today is to get in shallow, nice and close to the bricks, find a bit of current and test out the new free swimmer reels on some hard fighting kiwi snapper. The conditions are going to be a little bit challenging for the first part. We've got a bit of wind, it's going to be wind against tide, so we're just going to have to tuck out of that wind. Hopefully we get the current in the right direction. We should be in pretty good shape for catching obviously some large snapper. Got some really quality fresh baits. We spent some time this morning catching some live jack mackerel, which snapper love. You can use them for fresh dead baits too. So we're looking good to put ourselves in a position to catch a very large New Zealand snapper on the new free swimmers. So looking forward to getting out there. So just rigging up a couple of traces for a little stray line session, testing out the new free swimmers. Got a decent selection of different size hooks in here, so I think the biggest thing to do is to match your hook to the size bait you're using. You want to have plenty of hook exposed. So I'm going to go for I think a couple of 8-barrows. We've got some big fresh jack mackerel, some big slabs of slimy mackerel from last night. So generally with the snapper, the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish essentially. There's lots of reef species where we're going, so by chucking on a bigger bait you get a bit more chance at a bigger snapper getting your bait before it gets decimated by the smaller fish. So I just like to do a 5-turn uni knot onto the main hook. Always trim your tag end down. Slide your other hook on. The good thing about doing it this way is you can pick the distance between your two hooks. Also, I think with a fixed hook, you just get a bit more purchase when you strike. It doesn't have to slide down to your first hook before you're getting the pressure from the rod come on and setting the hook. So I think it works for me anyway. So. Scotty, the skipper, said we're in about 10 metres of water, so 10 to 15, so I'm going to go with 2 little 1/4 ounces to start. Then I can add more weight or take it off. I think the biggest thing with targeting big snappers, you want your bait presentation to be as natural as possible. So using a light amount of weight lets the bait drift down naturally through the water, and you're more likely to get a bite from a big snapper. So the sinkers are just free running. And then I'll grab a swivel. Tie that on again just with a 5-turn uni knot. That should have us in pretty good shape for a snapper. Yep, she'll be alright. Right?
So new Jighead prototypes.
Pretty excited about those.
Definitely excited for these ones. Yeah, so Bait Junkie Jigheads, you can see it's got a very different hook keeper, different shape head. They got a stand-up head, so it's designed so the plastic will sit up. Obviously all the Bait Junkie material is buoyant, so when it hits the bottom, the Bait Junkie will actually stand up, and enables the fish to eat it off the bottom as well, and also enables really nice action, a bit more of a data style head, so you get a bit more action out of your plastic. So
beauty. Alright, so we've just made it to our first spot to have a crack at. We're just sort of determining if the wind and the tide are in the same direction, but it looks really good. We've got a whole heap of broken foul, 6 meters of water, so it's sort of a prime snapper location. Alright, we weren't too sure on the depth we were going to be fishing, so we've got a couple of 1/4 ounces on there. It's probably too much weight, so just going to take those off. So I got some pilchards. They're a favourite food of snapper. Get a lot of pilly schools in New Zealand. So you can either fish a pilly whole or halves. Sometimes at the start of the session I like to just start fishing a few halves. It gets a little bit more smell in the water. Get the fish on the bite. Alright, so it always pays before you start fishing to just check your drag, make sure you're happy with it. Check the rear drag on the old free swimmer. I'm going to run it pretty light, not running any weight on the hook, so you can run it super light. And we'll chuck that bait out. Chuck the free swimmer on and let that soak, and then we'll get a burley ready. Trying to slowly keep in touch with the line, so you just tick it back in with your finger on top of the drag knob there, and then still if a fish picks it up, I can feel the line or the bite through my finger. He's going to pick it up and run, so it's just a good way to stay in contact with your bait. Oh, fleeced. Just going to rig up a whole pulley now, so it's a little bit frozen. Get plenty of hook exposed, half inch around the tail. And then just break its head off to get a bit more smell out there. You can go stash them up the top or the front, Brownie. Here you go. Yep, fish on. Ooh. No, we're into it. And Kahawai. Kahawai can become a problem. Kahawai to open the account. Mackerel there. Definitely mackerel there.
snapper so far.
That was
Very good.
problem. Real good snapper's got to be over 15 pounds.
Real good snapper, you'd be getting your ass handed to you, boy. Oh, that's a good snapper.
Another nice little snapper here. It's the second all-right one for the day. I think it's a nice one. The boys think it's a standard, but I'm pretty happy with that. The new Bait Junkie Jighead. Got the 7-inch jerk shad hanging out of its mouth there too. Did the job. I think I'm cheating a little bit here. The boys have they're doing a bit of stray lining and there's a good burley trail, so I'm just capitalising on that with the 7-inch jerk shad, throwing it in there. Would love to get a nice release shot, but the only release shot here is into the chili bin.
Hopefully it's a snapper. I could just feel them there, like slowly. It's a snapper. Oh, here we go. That's a nice one. It's nice to get one for the bait team. Nice chunky snap from the burley trail on a whole butterfly jackmack. Nice fish. They fight hard in that shallow water even at this size, so pretty happy with that one. This is the bait that did the damage on the last fish. Nice and big. Plenty of hook exposed, and it lets the pickers have a shot and gives it a bit of time for the big old moocher to come along and hail it.
Not my favourite. Hanging on your stick bait, rudder.
Nice little morlongs on the soft plastic. Bit of a bycatch while targeting some snapper. Free fish. Just getting back. First one in NZ.
Yeah.
This is New Zealand versus Australia now.
It's going to be a good fish. That's a lie. Quite like that.
Nice little fish for the free swimmer. I mean, you know, that was a huge bait. It's amazing what they'll eat, but goes to show that the small fish pick it down and you quite often end up with a slightly nicer fish.
Oh, buddy. Well, could be a PB.
Maybe wait another 5. There we go, nice little kingy there, probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 kilos maybe. On the 7-inch jerk shad, just snapper fishing in the boys' burley trail here. That's on the new Bait Junkie Jighead too. Right in the corner, 7.0, that's the heavy gauge on the 90-60 BKK, so it was going nowhere. Nice little kingy, pretty happy with that. On the new battler as well, in the Revelry. Getting the shot. You good, man? Good. Going like last week's pay.
Nice work, champ.
Brownie.
did he drop it? Gutted.
Back, Scotty.
Somewhere.
Got him that time. Not the same one.
Not quite.
Trying to keep the bait off.
Did he? Nice snapper. Wasn't in the same class as that first one, but still nice little dark reef fish.
Bait's coming back.
Get him, rudder. Baits. Oh, the boys are hooking up left, right, and centre. Oh, Brownie's on a good one. Wait for it, eh?
Nice fish for team bait for the Kiwis.
Just what the doctor ordered. That's a nice fish.
Come on, mate. Had a few drops on the ground, but he should be right. There he goes. A little slow.
Smell a 10 kilo snapper, Scotty.
Gotta be in here, eh?
That's why I was getting excited. I forgot I'd change reels. I was like, man, that's pulling good line. Get him, Scotty. How's that look about it? Definitely. Snapper.
Coming on with the bad weather.
They love it, eh?
Perfect conditions.
How's that
Richard, do you want a jacket?
Yeah, we need
Okay.
to.
Don't get wet.
It's a nice Kahawai, Brett.
Boy oh boy, didn't he just smash that pillar?
Wait, bro. That free swimmer's got a nice smooth drag on it. I like it. Come on. Come on with that. Come on with that, bro. Fresh. Yes, the boys. That chunky one. That is what I love. Straight lining big, fresh baits in shallow water with those hoodlums that fight hard, man. No match for the free swimmer though. Smooth drag and paired up with that BG blue water. In my humble opinion, that's one of the finest straight lining combos I've had the privilege of using. Send them home. Oh! There he goes, he's out.
Fish. Oh! No. Came out. Whew. Heartbreaking. Love those slow bites. Oh yeah!
Strong fish. They live in these shallows, eh? And they have to catch their food in amongst lots of current and wash. And as a result, they're tough, man, and they put up a very good account of themselves.
Had a pretty good little session here to start with, giving the free swimmers a bit of a run. We've just got to slack tide, but just before the the turn of the tide, Brownie managed to get a couple of nice snapper. Just been using big fresh baits in the shallows. Looked like a good area, and it's definitely producing. So just sort of waiting for the tide to turn now and the fish to come back on the chute. It's just got a little bit quiet, but as long as the tide runs in the same direction, we've got plenty of burley, plenty of bait, and we'll keep getting stuck into them. Whoa, no! That'd be good for a blooper reel.
No, you will not. This on there too.
So I had a pretty good session. The tide died and the fishing died along with it, and the weather's, as you can see outside, it's gone from kind of nice and sunny with a bit of wind to a lot of wind and a lot of rain and a worsening forecast. So we're going to gap it out of here, head back closer towards where we've come from, and hopefully find a bit of shelter and a few more fish. But yeah, it's time to get out of here before the weather really closes in. So catch up at the next spot.
What are we looking at? Oh yeah. Get him, bro. Get him. How tight's your drag, bro? Tight enough? Yeah, it's an 8,000, it's not the biggest of reels. It's a smaller, I'd say 4 to 6, I think. Nice work, bro. That's a really nice fish. Could be a headache for you. Not a bad fish. I'll quickly run down, grab that camera and get a few snappies.
Nice kingy on the stick bait. We just pulled into to the rock where we got a couple on stick bait on the first day. We were just coming back from down there, so we thought we'd pull in, and that fourth cast got a beauty. See ya.
Righto, Braden's just got a really nice fish there.
Cheers, mate.
He's pretty pumped. We're just going for another drift, so hopefully we can get another fish. Brady just dropped on the live bait, so looks like it's all happening here. Plenty of action. Fingers crossed we can definitely get a few more big fish, maybe a few PBs for some of the boys, so that's good. Just tying an FG knot. After 3 days of casting, that knot that I had on has just sort of started to look a little bit rough, so rather than hook another fish and potentially lose it, it's better to definitely make sure that you have all the odds in your favour. So just retying this knot is definitely a must do for me right now. So I'll just do a couple of half hitches up the braid and the leader, and then just some on the braid, and then we'll be all sorted and back in the action. So fingers crossed some of the boys can get a fish while I'm doing this. one small pack on the reef somewhere chilling.
Time.
That was a successful little stop, running there for a little bit. Braid managed to get himself a nice kingy on a stick bait there, so we're just going to head back in to one of the close-in islands here, get out of this weather. As you can see in the background there, it's absolutely bucketing down, so fingers crossed. Pop in here behind the island, float out some more baits and hopefully a couple of big snapper. So Brownie's on form at the moment, so my money's on him, but I think Braden's going to get into it as well, so we'll see how we go.
Big ones.
Big ones.
Kahawai.
Bait Junkie Jighead doing the demarche.
The piccolo, my favourite. That and the red bait glow are my two all-time favourite soft plastics for snapper.
Sheltered side of it. Gorgeous little island, which I'd love to own. Everyone, we're going to throw the anchor down, and that island's beautiful. We're going to throw the anchor down and do a bit of burleying, see if we can bring the fish to us and get through a bit of this bait that we've got. So, fingers crossed, we can get some more good sized snapper. Let the free swim around a bit and just see how it goes, see what the afternoon brings for us. It's a bit wild and woolly out, so this is a pretty good option, I think, especially with the showers coming through as well. So
Get him, Brownie. Get it all the way down. Snapper boy. Stunning fish.
What a neat little fish.
Very cute.
Gonna grow into a 45 kilo one after a while.
Snapper candy.
Get him. Get him.
Snapper on the free swimmer. Definitely don't have the technique dialed like these boys from NZ, but glad to get one on the board. Hopefully get another one before the sun goes down.
Sweet.
Happy?
Alright, just finishing up the last session, just a bit more stray lining. Got quite a few good snapper there. Scotty was on fire for the first part there, he was putting us all to shame, and yeah, the Aussie crew definitely struggled for a bit there. Brownie got the biggest fish of the session again, and yeah, last day in New Zealand, done and dusted, sun setting behind us, a little bit more rain coming in, so we're going to try and beat it heading back to the marina, and yeah, go and get ourselves a nice big feed. So yeah, stoked.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh, awesome. Good to have you guys over and get stuck into a few fish. And
Yeah,
that was awesome.
definitely. I feel very privileged to come over here and fish with you guys. It's sort of a different sort of fishing to what we do back at home, and yeah, it's definitely really good to come over here and see it, and we really appreciate the hospitality.
Forward to next time.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
All good.
Happy
Let's
days.
go bash our way back to the harbour.
We made it, so it's 5:30. Sun sets at 5:15. Very good.
All right. Oh, why are you giving everything? Let's get his hat.
Yeah, good to spend some time with the Australian boys here in the far north of New Zealand. Obviously operating off Nautilus charters here with the skipper Scotty. But yeah, testing a bunch of new product with the team Ben and Scott here as well. Conditions were on our side for most of the trip, but today it got a bit wet. We still persevered, got a big oil slick going of burley. It was a long day, but a few big fish to come from it. Ben getting a few big snapper as he does, and Braden with a nice kingy. So yeah, overall good trip, testing some new product, seeing what it's all made of, and yeah, good to meet some new faces as well.
Yeah,
So
definitely, it's been an epic trip, and we can't thank you boys enough for the hospitality. It's been really fun. So
That's what fishing's all about, mate. Good times, good banner.
Right. Thanks
Good
to Skipper
mates.
too. Thanks, Scott.
No, it's my pleasure. It's been great to have you out again.
Done the job.
Anytime.
That's a wrap, team.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.
Boom.
I love it.
Well done, guys. I'll see you a bit later, eh?
Yep.
All right.
Cheers, eh?
Yeah, it was great.
Righto, boys.
All passengers should be on board the aircraft after
Double down.
this is the final call.
Done and dusted. Done and dusted.
Beautiful brew, that one.